Welcome.
I'm so sorry. I don't know how this thing works, but I'm here.
Welcome. Sorry for the time delay. We were unaware of the GMT time.
That's okay. That's okay. It's quite fine.
It's a pleasure to have you here in our live session.
Okay,
Welcome
cool.
again.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here. So fire your questions away.
Okay, okay. I'm just gonna start with the question one. Some of my students asked this question. They are learning English, and they asked me, "Why learn French?"
Wow, why learn French? Okay, there are many reasons why we have French pupils learning French with me. So you have I want to visit, France and any French-speaking country, and I would like to communicate with the local people. So that's one reason. But I think ultimately the main reason is to have more opportunities for work. And so, and it's like learning any languages. Why do you learn English? It's probably to be able to communicate more easily and have that step up on the CV that you can actually speak another language. So for us, we have a huge following in India. And the reason being is that they are trying to reach a certain level in French in order to migrate in Canada, you see. So so that's one reason that you would learn French. But again, that's one reason that you would learn Spanish, or you would learn any other, spoken languages, So why learn French? Because it's a useful, very useful, economically very useful language to learn.
So I think one of the other reasons is that they have exams related to French.
Well, yes, of course, but yes, absolutely. Sorry, that's another part as well. So 3 parts: the tourism, the job, and of course the exams that is compulsory here in England, for example. And that's of course another reason why you must learn French.
Actually, the reason why I started learning French at the beginning was related to exams as well. Thanks to your videos, I was able to pass those exams.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I'm glad it worked. Well done, you.
Yeah, it worked. Thank you. But actually, one of my questions is also related to the pronunciation. I'm just going to pass to that question. Pronunciation of the French is quite difficult. How can we improve our pronunciation skills?
It's a tough one, actually. It's a very good question. You can learn the alphabet in French, but it will not help you pronounce words that much, because I think ultimately what you need to do is learn sounds, okay, to get it accurate. For example, when you have an A and an I together, it's a E sound. If you've got I don't know, a E and a U together, it's a E sound. So what I would suggest is that when you learn pronunciation, is learn compound letters together. And learn sounds rather than just letters. The ABC, A, B, C, D, E, F, G is not going to help you pronounce properly. What I could recommend that you do as well is to sorry, there is an echo.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah. What I can recommend as well that you do is to read a French book at the same time as listening to it. I know it's a very hard exercise to do, but by reading it, you see how it is pronounced, okay? There are books that are, and there are books available, I know, that you can actually have very small passages with sound bites that go with that. And not necessarily big books, but definitely that's a great exercise for you to practice your pronunciation. Yeah.
Okay, how about audiobooks? Could they be helpful in this term?
Absolutely. The audiobooks are very, very useful. Radio is very useful, but it would be nice for you to see the support, the text, the actual text with that audio. So you can match, you know, your brain matches the sound to the letter. But audiobooks are great too. I mean, radio, anything, films, anything. Songs even. I mean, you know, here in England, the children, the teenagers learn a song by Stromae. Do you know Stromae?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well, he's a Belgian singer, very popular, does amazing songs, and he's so articulate in the way he talks, you know. There is a song, I don't know if can I write on this thing?
I think so, yeah, in the comment section.
Okay, so this is Stromae, so there you go. Yeah, can you see it, Stromae? Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. Oh yeah, Papa Outé, yeah. Malko Seval just left. Yes, absolutely. It's one of the title of one of his songs, and another one is Formidable. Formidable. And yes, you're right. He's saying that Stromae comes from Maestro. It's what we call the Verlan, à l'envers, which means his name is actually the wrong way around. So Stromae is, if you put the word together, is Maestro. Yeah.
Maestro.
So Formidable is a superb song to listen when it comes to pronunciation. Anyway.
Okay, I will try that and also give my students that song as well. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's a pleasure.
Okay, moving on from the pronunciation part, how about the general other parts of the language? Grammar, writing skills, etc. How can we improve those in French?
You know, I've been teaching for like 27 years. That gives you my age, you know. You were probably not born, but anyway.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
and no, that's okay. What I have noticed over my long years of teaching is that you have two kinds of learners, not two, you have so many different kinds of learners, but one thing is for sure is that try to learn the basics of grammar in order to be confident enough to put a sentence together. It's okay to say, oh, bonjour, comment ça va? Je voudrais 2 bières, s'il vous plaît. You know, it's okay to say that. But if your vocabulary stops here, you know, there is no point. What you want is improve. And the way you are going to improve is you are going to learn some basics in order to communicate. And when you start communicating, then people will think that, oh, they're quite good. So I'm going to talk back like if we were conversing. And that's the only way you are going to learn the language, is by conversing with someone and make it sound as natural as possible. That can only be achieved if you have some kind of grammar basic skills. In my opinion, people might disagree completely, and I'm quite happy to be disagreed on. But unless you have some basics of grammar, French grammar in my case, and conjugation, you will find it really hard to communicate. Unless you are in France and you are thrown into the lion's mouth, you know, and you have to do it. You have to communicate, you know. Then you learn this way. But having some basics, that's what I think you should do. Practice with as many people as possible. That's not always the case. That's the problem. You don't. That's the problem. You can't always practice the language you're learning with someone, you know. But nowadays with technologies, my gosh, you can practice online. You know, look, we are talking. Where do you live?
In Turkey.
In Turkey.
Istanbul.
There you go. And here we are in central London. So, you know, it's amazing. So
yes, thanks to technology.
yeah. So anyway, that's the way I would answer that. You know, as much as you think, oh, I don't need any grammar, but you do actually. You do have to understand basics of how languages work in any language. You know, we all have a verb, we all have subjects. You know, we all have adverbs in our languages, so you know how to put them in what order. So, you know.
Actually, I say the same thing to my English students here, trying to learn English. The basic thing you need to do is first learn a basic level of grammar so that you can understand what's being said and what's being written on the text.
Yeah.
So grammar is the foremost thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm sorry to interrupt. Identify in a sentence. Identify what is what. You know, where is your subject? Where's your verb? Where's your adverb? You know, first of all, you've got to understand all the terms, grammatical terms. You know, but anyway.
So there was a question.
Sorry.
In the comment section, there was a question in the comment section. What are the job opportunities if you learn French? Elton Flex asks.
Okay. Oh, right. Can you see me here? Sorry, my telephone.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the opportunities if you learn French? Okay, I would say the working abroad is what I can think of. You know, not only that. For example, I'll give you an example. In my team at Learn French with Alexa, there are about 8 of us, but I would say confidently that 6 of us speak fluent French and English. So here, when we recruited, you know, here in London, you know, an English-speaking country. Well, one part of the recruitment was French. We needed people to be able to speak French. So that's an opportunity that, you know, you have, and that makes you special to learn a second language. You know, you might want to become a IT or guy or even, I don't know whatever job you want to do, even waitressing, you know, if you have the lingo, it gives you that opportunity more for you to get the job instead of the next person. So what kind of job? I reckon it's any types of job. Here in England, and I'm not sure whether it's the same in Turkey, but in England, we have a huge amount of doctors and nurses that are not English, but because they speak fluent English, they work here, and they are doctors, they are nurses, and they are, you know, carers, and it's amazing the cosmopolitan amount of people we have here in London that speak English and have found a work here. So it doesn't have to be French, it has to be a language. I think, yes, learning at least one other language will get you a job.
Always a plus, learning a language.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's always a plus, definitely. You know, it makes you very special for me on the CVs when we employ people at Learn French with Alexa. It's special. You know, every CV we receive, we said, first thing we look at is that, can they speak French? You know, for example, can they converse in French? You know, so, yeah.
So my other question is there a TOEFL-like exam in French? I think there is an exam like a TOEFL. Can you tell us about it?
I can't. I mean, I would love to. I know very little about the TOEFL exam, except that because I did a one-to-one session on YouTube with someone called Anne-Marie, and she was preparing the TOEFL exam. And I think it's very similar to the CEFR exam, whereby you have, actually, I've been doing some research on it. I'm going to show you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm doing some research at the moment on the TEFL and DALF there. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the spec and the framework of it and what it implies in terms of the exam. And the reason I'm doing that, so I'm going, oh, can I flick that over? Yes, I can. Okay. So this is what I'm doing at the moment, you know. So where you have different exams for the same level, for example, A1 level, you see. And what I've been doing is studying what it entails, studying what they have to do to succeed. So here I've downloaded a B2 level.
Oh.
Okay. So, and the reason I've done that is to be able to start making lessons that target TEFL, that target CEFR level. So I can't say much about it because I don't know yet what it entails. I know there is an interview, I know there is a listening comprehension, I know there is a reading comprehension. And what I've noticed is that when it comes to reading comprehension, the articles are way more complicated than the normal conversation of people, you know. And I find that it's very unfair for students that, you know, prepare the DELF exam, because technically it's not the real French, and the chance of them meeting this kind of level of French is very low. Do you see what I mean? Is that technically
it's not realistic.
It's not realistic at all. So you teach English, do you?
Yes, I teach English.
Yes, you teach English, yeah. And so you must know actually what the requirement is, but you will notice that the level of English needed, you know, to pass a B1 or B2 exam is too high, really. And it's not representative of what us French speaker or English speaker speak like, if that makes sense. So
it's not really a real world experience in the exam, actually.
No, absolutely not. And this is the problem with exams. I mean, I have an issue with exams. I didn't do very well at school, and which is ironic, really. When I mean I didn't do very well, I don't think I fitted the mold of the perfect academic, you know, students. So anyway, it's exam is an exam. Oh, bonjour, Bourgeoisie. People are saying we don't have so many in English. Oh, they're talking about accent. They are having their own little conversation, I see. Okay.
Okay, there was a good question there, actually. Why do you have so many accents in French?
French, yeah, I saw that, yes. And that was, why do you have so many accents? And that was I Weirdo. Oh, Weirdo. It's called I Weirdo. Well, have you been in England? Because there are so many different accents in England. I swear, even in London alone, you know, I know of about 2 or 3 different accents. Have you heard of the Cockney accent?
Yeah, I heard of it. Yes.
Right. And so the more you go north, you know, the weirder the accents. I mean, Scotland is, you know, and the Welsh accent is really different. So I believe, and what about in Turkey? Do you have different accents?
Of course we do, actually.
Exactly.
It changes related to the city, and the Aegean parts of the Turkey speaks differently. But the problem is that mostly they can understand each other. But for instance, in England, the more you go north, the people from south cannot understand each other. That's a bit of difference.
Yeah, that's very funny. Well, in France, okay, there are 2 films I would recommend for you to listen to 2 different types of accents from the south to the north. And you will realize, like you know, the huge difference between the 2 accents. In the south of France, they speak like they sing. I don't know. So they don't say du pain, bread, they say du pain, du pain. They don't say lapin, rabbit, they say lapin.
Quite different.
Yeah, very different. So you will see that in a film called Jean de Florette. So if you ever have I'm going to write it here.
Yeah, it would be great.
I'm so sorry. I wish I had my glasses because it tells you how old I am. Now, Jean de Florette from the south, and you will hear the southern accent, yeah? And from the north, I would recommend you to watch a comedy called Bienvenue chez les Ch'tis. I think it's spelled like that. There. Okay. Anyway, so these are the two films. These are the two films I would definitely recommend to you to hear different accents. And in the middle, well, you've got my accent, which is not, it's very RP, received pronunciation. So it's very clear. My accent is very neat. And I come from Lyon, very close to Lyon in France, which makes my accent not much of an accent at all, actually, when I speak. But that's interesting.
Okay, my last question is related to motivation to learn any language. How someone keeps their motivation so that they can continue learning a language, especially in this quarantine time.
Yeah, I know. Well, the quarantine, we all have good intention. Like I wanted to do yoga every day. Have I started yet? No, but but I have good intention. I am going to do yoga. Anyway, the motivation we find on our business, Learn French with Alexa, that people start to learn and they're motivated and then lose the motivation. And we have a few percentage of people who finish the course. And once they finish the course, they feel good about it. So it is all about making yourself feel good about what you have achieved. And it's not in people's nature to do that necessarily, so, sorry?
Unfortunately, I said.
No, unfortunately, it's not. So you've got to find a target. In order to motivate yourself, I think I would find either a target like, we mentioned at the beginning, why do you learn a language? A, to travel, B, to find a job, and C, to do an exam. So I think that the motivation is there if there is a carrot at the end of the stick. Do you see? That's the way you are going to keep going. Otherwise, if you do it on your own, then it's free for all. And then the chance of you succeeding is very low, very low. I'm the same, by the way. I'm the same,
Students and all people actually need to remind their reasons why they started learning a language or any.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. It's just know about the reason why you want to do that in the first place and keep at it and put it on a post-it in front of your wall or in your computer or wherever, saying this is the reason why you're doing it, when you lose the plot. And if it's there on your wall every day and you pass it, you either throw it in the bin, think that's it, or you keep looking at it and thinking, okay, I'm going to do something about it. Yeah. So, yeah, give yourself a reason for learning a language.
Yeah. So my questions are over. If there are any more in the comment sections, I will ask them. I'm just looking for questions right now. So someone asked this question, actually, interesting one. This question is being asked to me as well in terms of English. Can we learn French in 3 months?
Right. Okay. I'm going to do mine and then you do yours. I would say in English, how long is a piece of string? So this basically is, anything goes. Yeah, you can definitely And no, you cannot. You know, it really depends on your motivation. It really depends on how hard working you are. And it's not about intelligence at all here. It's about ability to have a goal and stick to it. You know, 3 months is absolutely possible to, you wouldn't be fluent in 3 months, but you would certainly reach a good enough level to be able to communicate. And once you communicate, this is what's going to feed and improve your language skill. That's it. So how long is a piece of string? And what about you, answer?
Well, I think to pass an exam, 3 months is actually okay, but to learn the whole language, actually, there is no point where you can say, I learned it, okay, this is over, I can go on to my life again. So language learning is a process that never ends for me, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in England for, well, 28 years now, and I'm still learning. Just to give you an idea, I am still learning English. Every day there would be a word I think, well, how come I've never seen that word before? You know, it's just went through the net. You know, it went through the net. How come I have not? You know, so definitely, yes, 3 months for an exam, you're right, you can prepare for an exam. But then after that, it doesn't stop here. And you're absolutely right, definitely right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for your answers. Thank you so much for your time. I think
that's my pleasure. I've enjoyed that, actually. Do you know that?
Me too. Thank you.
It took Nancy from Fancy Nancy, who actually had to give me all the step by step to how to get into your life, because I didn't know how to do that. So, but now I know how to do that. We can do that anytime.
Okay, would love to again to do it. Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure.
See you later then.
Okay, not a problem. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will do these live videos again later. We will continue with other. Much for tuning in, and thank you so much for asking questions. See you later.